Hi guys, Blake here again today. Lilley's Landing Resort in Marina, Lake Taneycomo. It is Tuesday, 2022, and I'm gonna do the one cast for you today. It is a lot colder, about half the temperature today, and still dropping. It's somewhere in the mid to low 30s. We have a 5 to 10 mile an hour breeze, pretty constant breeze blowing here. Really cloudy, and as many of you know, chances of snowstorms tomorrow and Thursday. My phone said 100% chance for Wednesday and Thursday. We shall see though. Today I'm sitting directly in the middle of the lake. I am about 100 yards below Short Creek, and today I'm going to be trying out for the first time our new rental rods. We decided to upgrade this year a bit, and so we have the Pflüger Monarch set up. Pflüger Monarch rod and reel here, and these ones I'll have some available with 2-pound tests and some available with 4. They're a medium light action 6-foot rod, and I think they've got a little bit better sensitivity and reel, and I think we'll be able to use the same equipment that we use on our rods whenever the water's off to cast and stuff. And so today I've brought 3 of them out. They all have the 2-pound line on them, and I've got one rigged with a pink power worm, one rigged with a Derringer jig, and one rigged with a white mega worm. And they've all got the medium size carrot floats on them with the toothpick. When I set these up, I like to run my toothpick out of the bottom of the indicator. So whenever this is setting on the water, it sets on the water like this. You put the tapered end down so that if a fish pulls it, it's easier for him to pull it under the water. And when you're pulling it off the water, this is the part that's facing the reel. So if the toothpick's not there, it can't catch the water as easily. Today I'm gonna use my depth finder a little bit. I roughly know all the depths around the lake here, but my depth finder says I'm setting at 6.1 feet. I know that I have a 6-foot rod here, and I want to fish these about a foot off the bottom or so. So that's about to the end of the rod there. I've still got about 2 foot left up here. I'm just going to increase my depth by about a foot, and we're going to fish it about 5 to 5.5 foot deep. This pink power worm today, I've got about an inch long piece with the fat end towards the head of the jig and the skinny end of the tail dropping off. That is one of the Bobby Garland 64th ounce itsy bitsy jigs, I believe is what they call them on the package. This is going to be similar to the way I was casting my fly rod yesterday. I'm going to let out about a foot or 2 of line from where the bobber is to the end of the rod. I'm going to flip it forward, flip it back on the water. I'm going to cast it out. We've got a nice chop, overcast skies, so should today I'm going to fish each one of these rigs about 10 minutes. All 3 of these things are generally something we can find fish on when the water is turned off like it is. They ran 4 units this morning. I guess sometime last night they shut the water off for a short period of time, and then they turned on 4 units. That's what they ran this morning. They shut the water off at 1 about an hour and a half or so ago. They're only going to leave it off till 4, and then they're going to bring on the water again. Table rock still setting at 715.75. It kind of raised up. It's been kind of fluctuating, but it still seems like it's on the rise a little bit. Alright, nothing officially on the first cast. I've got the boat spot locked here, so it is that time of the year for the geese, mating season, and they get noisy. I might even take the spot lock off here in a little bit and just let the boat drift. If I let the boat drift with the wind, I'll be able to kind of keep the indicator in the same spot instead of having to let it drift past me and reeled in. Both can be effective, but you can definitely keep that bait down in the water longer if you don't have to keep recasting. We've had intermittent snow flurries. I just felt one hit my nose. You want to keep in mind that as the wind's blowing like that, it's putting slack in your line, so you need to be, every 5-7 seconds, you need to be kind of reeling in your slack, or else you won't be able to set the hook when that moment comes. I think I'm going to have to drift a little bit here. The wind is just taking it a little too fast. But even with that little medium-sized cork, seems like this rod and line are able to cast it plenty of distance from the boat there. There's a fish. Put the spot lock back on so I keep as much ground as I can here. Go. Little stalker. Alright, make sure that my pink worm is still slid all the way up underneath the jig head. I don't know what difference it makes, but the fish definitely don't like it when that worm is slid down off the jig head. Okay, Give this one about 5 more minutes or so, and then we'll try one of the other combinations. We sell a even bigger carrot float, and that one weighs just a touch more, probably give you a little more casting distance, but I still stick to, I like to get away with as small of an indicator as I can. Like I said, still need to keep making sure you got tightness in your line, and while you're doing it, you can kind of give that indicator a little wiggle. Give that bait a little more action. And that one got a little close to the boat. The wind's kind of pushing me that direction. The water being off can always be kind of some of the tougher times for fishing out here. And like I said, these 3 things, including I didn't rig up like a PJ's finesse jig, or I didn't rig up the micro jig. Both of those are also great tools to use when the water's off. Give this one just another minute or 2. Kind of laying my line across the water here, keeping the wind from pulling it too much. There's all kinds of spots you can pretty much do this anywhere on the lake. Of course, not with the pink power worm, but this idea with the water off. There was a bite. Oh, he took it again. Oh my gosh. It's just about getting to where the fish are at, and that means if you're fishing 10 foot of water, setting that indicator 8 to 9 foot deep. And obviously that gets challenging with a shorter rod. You can still do it with a 6 foot rod. You just have to be really careful with your cast, and you gotta lob it back behind you and let it hit the water. And or just find areas where the water is more manageable. This flat is definitely one of those areas. Kind of gotten away from the middle of the lake. I'm going to go ahead and reel this one in. I'm going to come back out to the middle, spot lock. Put the pink power worm away. And next we will go with the white mega worm. And I'm going to check my depth one more time. We've got 7 foot now. Get that mega worm wet. You do gotta get those soaked a little bit first. I picked this white mega worm because it is cloudy and I like white on cloudy days. We're gonna get this set somewhere in that 6 foot range. The toothpick on the bottom of the indicator. The mega worm has already decided to tangle the tail into the hook. Gotta watch that. Check my rod distance. I got a 6 foot rod. I've got it set just like 6 1/4 foot deep here. And we're gonna go off spot lock again so we can drift with it. I think with maybe the smaller fly with that 100th ounce head, probably a heavier, the bigger indicator would have been better for casting. But I'll just use my trolling motor to my advantage to keep the line farther away from the boat. This entire flat is good to fish. You can fish over there close to this bank, over here by the docks, out in the middle. Just about anywhere. It's a good flat. Take advantage of them boat wakes over there. Sometimes when a boat goes by, it's just enough to stir up something that gets the fish feeding for a second. Oh my gosh. Mega worm a little bit longer, but Haven't really even got a bite with it yet, so it may not be the weapon of choice today. The only fishing report I have from today was Captain Dwayne Doty. Today was his birthday, by the way. But he had a trip this morning, and they were out while the 4 units were running. He had also, I didn't know it until after I talked to him yesterday, but he had also had success with the trout beads yesterday during the 2 unit flow and the nice weather. And scuds yesterday. But today they said they tried the trout bead for just a little bit. Oh, there's a fish. Oh, he's just a little guy. Really pretty, probably natural born here. Rainbow, all his fins. There he goes. Alright, we'll give the mega worm just a second longer since I found a bite on it. Anyway, he said that they tried the trout beads today in the 4 units, and they only managed to catch 1 fish on the trout bead. And he said that the 639 Signature Series French Pearl jerkbait, drift rig style, dragging on the bottom, worked a lot better. And he said the scuds worked a little bit better than that. And then he said the Cerise San Juan worm, all of these things, the Signature Series, the scuds, and the San Juan worms dragging on the bottom with a drift rig. He said that the Cerise San Juan worm was the top performer today for them. And I was gonna get out today, and I bought the right hooks for those trout beads and learned a different way to rig them on the line, and even a different knot to tie the hooks on with, just for fun. But the water conditions now are not good for that. Like I said, they're supposed to turn more water on at 4. I just didn't have time to wait for that today. So I think we're gonna go ahead and pull the mega worm in, and we're gonna go to the 100th ounce Derringer jig. Oh, come on. Come on. Good. Come back here. Check the depth one more time. Still at 7.1 feet. This flat's staying pretty consistent here. I know that 6 foot's about right there. The wind is picking up a little heavier now. This is the Derringer Got that set just a little over 6 foot deep. I'll spot lock again. We're about halfway through the flat right now. This flat ends at these trees down here. Kind of where the last tree is in the water on this right hand side on the north bank. A little bit above Trout Hollow is where it drops into the deeper water. There's a fish. Oh, he's a flyer. This guy's got a little more color to him. Oh, yellow belly. Go. Well, so far, each one of my trusty baits here has produced one fish. But like I said, just out of the 3 I chose, mega worm in different colors depending on the day. These 100th ounce micro style jigs and the pink power worm are all things that I would try any day when the water's off. I would just change the colors, change my depths, stay on top of being somewhere in that last 2 foot of the bottom. I tend to, no matter what I'm doing, I tend to always give the indicator that little bit of extra motion. And it usually produces some fish on those no water days. There's another one. Yeah, a lot of babies down here today. Another thing to keep in mind is keeping your drag set nice and light. I've got these ones set just a pound or so a pull. Because if you do manage to get that big one to bite, they're going to take off pretty quick. And with 2-pound test, it's going to snap pretty quick if you don't have it set right. So keep that in mind. Always have your drag set just a little loose. Another thing that I know people have been doing well on when the water is running, has been running the last few days, is night crawlers seem to be the best answer. Dragging on the bottom with about 2 foot a leader and the appropriate weight size for however fast the water's moving. And then the white and the pink power eggs. I've heard multiple reports of people doing pretty good on those. This would probably be another good time, just as we're continuing to scoot down this flat, to get up and just make sure that I am fishing the correct depth. And we're still about 6.8, 6.9. So no need to adjust on that. I think these rods will make good jigging rods. I got a pretty sensitive tip there and enough backbone to jig with. And I'm sure that they will have a good sensitivity for dragging stuff across the bottom as well. I didn't even test one out before I ordered them. I just felt one in the shop and it felt good, and so I think that one will work. There's another fish. Ooh, a little bit bigger. Hey. There he is. Alright. One last cast. My eyelids are starting to freeze. There's another fish. Oh, the Derringer jig is coming alive again. Oh, he got off right at the last second. Well, I can't end it on a missed fish, so we better take one more cast. Man, I had 100% fish to the boat ratio before that little guy came off. Darn it. I said yesterday that I would tell you guys which hook that was, and it was an octopus hook is one of the better options for rigging those trout beads. Oh, there's a hit. Come back and get it again. They're not hitting it very hard. Just a little light pull. Come on, do it again. Oh, there he was. Ah. Well, that's another missed fish. I just can't end it there. We're almost to the end of the flat. Somebody is calling me. It is an unknown number. Sorry. Do what? Yep. Catching a few.
Take care.
You too. Okay, I guess I'll give up. I don't want to run the video an hour again. So we thank you guys for watching today. All three of these things are things I would always recommend when the water's off and the fish are a little tougher to catch. And we offer some rental rods if you don't have the equipment to be able to perform and do that now. So thank you guys for watching. Like and share us on Facebook. We will be back with you again tomorrow. Thanks, guys.